a 189-foot super yacht with that high-quality Feadship pedigree. What more could you ask for? This is Superyacht W. What's up everyone, it's Tony here, and welcome back to Yacht Addiction. Today, we're going to be exploring this incredible Dutch-built super yacht. This is a Feadship at 189 feet in length. It was first delivered in 2013, and the latest refit was actually a 10-month extensive overhaul with Feadship directly in the Netherlands. Inside, we have 5 cabins, and this yacht can house up to 13 crew members. The interior was done by Bannenberg and Rowell, and this yacht is presented for sale by Worth Avenue Yachts. I also wanted to mention that this yacht has a steel hull, so she's built to last. She's incredibly strong. As mentioned before, it's 189 feet. The beam is 34 feet and 8 inches, and the draft is 10 feet and 8 inches. As you can imagine, we have a lot of yacht to tour on this one, so sit back, relax, maybe pause the video and grab a snack, and enjoy as we explore this amazing Feadship super yacht. So as you can see, we have a massive swim platform back here, and then we're gonna make our way on board via this passerelle. And we'll make our way up to the aft deck area. And as you can see, we have a staircase that also leads up on either side. You can see the U-shaped seating wrapped around your table and the additional chairs. And then we're going to make our way into the main salon. And as you can see in this area, we actually have a double main salon setup. This entire area is set up for leisure. And then we have an exquisite formal dining room upstairs. So I wanted to step forward first because this is more of the main section in my opinion. We have a large U-shaped seating area. And then on the other side, we have a massive TV and also 2 lounge chairs. And all throughout this yacht, you're gonna see a beautiful mix of woodwork and materials. And then heading back towards that door that we entered through, we'll find 2 more chairs here, a small circular table, and your additional lounging space. Now Feadship, they're a shipyard based in the Netherlands. They're known for building some of the highest quality yachts out there. You can see the beautiful pattern in the flooring. And let's just do one more slow look through this entire area before moving on to the rest of the yacht. And as you can imagine, there is a lot of super yacht to see on this one. We have an extremely wide hallway, and then this is where we find the day head. All of the guest cabins will be located on this staircase. And then before we get to the owner suite, which is located on the main deck, let's take a detour over on the port side. This staircase will bring you down to the crew domain, and also they have a crew staircase to get up to the bridge deck. And if we continue around this corner, we have a side access door. And then this is where we find the galley. And you'll find plenty of cold storage on board, as well as a commercial kitchen setup with your professional appliances. I also like how the chef gets access to these really large windows. And then also, we have a massive walk-in refrigerator. which is always important on a super yacht capable of going extremely long distances. All right, let's continue on. All right, back out to the main foyer. You can see a side access door over here. And then up this hallway, this is where we find the owner's suite. This yacht is big enough to have a huge closet right off of the foyer. It's not something you always see. And then through this door, this is where the actual owner's suite begins. Once again, an extremely wide hallway. And then this is a massive closet with the dressing table built right in. And you can see all the hanging space on either side. And there's also another large closet space further in the owner's suite. And if we continue forward, there's another pocket door right here, so you could close this off even more if you wanted to. In this room is the full beam of the yacht. So we have a massive, oversized king bed. And then here is that secondary closet I mentioned. You have storage behind all of these doors. And we'll just open up one of them. And then earlier in the main salon, I talked about the mix of woodwork that you find all throughout this yacht. Some of the examples you'll see throughout this yacht, there's Macassar wood flooring, and you'll also find Zebrano wall timbers. And also bits of sycamore here and there in different areas. Up here, this is where we find the ensuite. So we have a large tub right in front of the window. Here you can see the vanity. And behind this first frosted door is the toilet. And behind door number 2 is your shower. And out. And of course, you've probably seen throughout, beyond all the beautiful timber, there's also an exquisite mix of stone that you'll find in all these different rooms. And then another great feature out here, it's powered, and we have a private terrace off of the owner's suite. So you'll see we have 2 chairs out here. You can set this up however you'd like. And when you're not at a boat show, of course, you won't have another massive yacht right next to you. So you could step out here, enjoy your morning cup of coffee, and take in all the views. By the way, you'll have to let me know in the comments, did you enjoy the new intro style? It's something that I plan on experimenting more. And then also, I didn't mention it before, but we do have a TV right over here. I'll give you one more peek from the entrance. All right, let's move on. This staircase, of course, will bring us up to the bridge deck, but we're not ready for that yet. Now we're gonna head down to the guest cabins, and we have 5 cabins in total. So we have the owner's suite on the main deck, and then 4 large cabins down here. And because we have so much real estate on board, you'll find these massive storage closets. And also extremely thick and heavy duty doors, which of course is always a sign of high quality. And here I think in the bedrooms, you get a really great look at all the different materials. You can see the different contrasts between the doors and the walls. It looks like we have a king bed in this room. Then over here, we'll find the ensuite. And it's very similar to the owner suite. We have an extremely large shower. And of course, this yacht also features the heated towel racks. All right, let's head across the hall, where I imagine this cabin will be mirrored to the last. And you'll have to excuse me, I don't think we opened up the closet in that last cabin. So let's do that for this one. And I like how you get the mix of hanging space. It lights up automatically, and you also have the built-in drawers underneath. You can tell just by the way the doors close. I know that probably doesn't pick up on camera well, but you ever get that extremely satisfying feeling when you can tell how a door is fitted perfectly to the frame, and you get that feeling when it closes? That's absolutely perfect. Well, I can tell you, you just have to trust me on this one. That's how I felt when I closed that door. And then back here, one more ensuite. And we'll just look over the top into the shower and the room with the toilet. And I feel like it doesn't even have to be said, but once again, with so much space on board, we have another extremely wide hallway. So these two additional cabins are also mirrored to each other, and they have a small desk in the room. Slightly smaller closets, but still more than enough. There's also a safe in here. And then of course the ensuite. And this one has a different setup. We have a sand colored stone in here, and also the same thing with the stone and tiles along the wall. But we have another large rainfall shower. And I like that you get different setups with the finishes in different rooms. Me personally, I like a little bit of variety in these different rooms. And you don't always have to change the materials. Also, sometimes just switching up the color palette with the accessories, that works as well. And then last but not least, in here you can see we have two single beds, and these are full-size twins, so an adult could easily sleep on these mattresses. And then just like before, your TV, drawers, closet, and what do you know, even more variety with the stone. It's more of a black and white finish in here, but the same layout as that last cabin. And also, if you're new to the channel, then welcome. My name is Tony. We post a new yacht or super yacht tour every single week, so make sure, whether you've been here a while or you're new, hit that subscribe button if you're not subscribed. And also, if you're enjoying the content, please leave a like on the video, and also comment down below, whether it's now or later on in the video once you've seen everything. I love interacting with you all in the comments, and also I like to hear your thoughts. Any type of engagement you leave on the channel helps me out a lot for the YouTube algorithm, and it's completely free, and I greatly appreciate it. So thank you to all of you for being here. Now, through this door, this grants us direct access into the crew domain. Earlier we saw that staircase with the cones propped up top. That's where this leads to, and this is so the crew can easily service these cabins. So if we take a peek down the hall, you'll see, and of course with 13 crew members, there's gonna be a lot of crew cabins on this yacht. This hallway stretches for what feels like an eternity. But here you can see more cold storage. You'll also find the laundry room, and you can tell the crew does an immaculate job on this yacht because every single space in here is extremely clean, even though they're actively being used. And then across from us, across the hallway, this is the main crew mess, which is very adequate for the crew size. We have multiple tables and multiple places to sit. And they also have a large TV and their kitchenette space as well. And then we were asked not to go into any of these cabins. This yacht is fully crewed, so they didn't want anyone invading their space. However, we are going to view the captain's cabin upstairs. So don't worry, we're still going to see at least one of the cabins. But also, I'm glad I was able to show you at least the main parts of this crew area with the massive laundry room as well as the mess. And then here's that staircase I talked about before. But we're going to head back through into this landing space and we'll head back up the stairs. One thing I thought was cool was that when they did the refit, they did it directly with the Feadship shipyard. There's many different places you can bring a yacht to get refitted, but there's something about having a pedigree yacht builder being the ones that actually do the updates on your yacht. I think it makes a lot of sense, and it helps keep the yacht in a like-new condition. So that was just a little note I thought was impressive. All right, now we're gonna head up to the bridge deck because we've seen everything on the main deck. And I think we'll start forward and then we'll work our way back to all the fun areas. And we'll start with the stay head. And this is also complete with a full, pretty large shower. So it's nice to have just in case. There's another side access door right off of this landing area. And then if we come through this door, this enters crew domain again. You can see there's a prep space for the stews and a little window to send things through, as well as a wine fridge, coffee maker, another side access door, refrigeration, and a sink. So obviously the crew can easily take care and service all the different areas on all the different levels. This staircase also, once again, brings you back down to the entrance of the galley. And then continuing forward, we'll take a quick peek into the captain's office. And then as promised, this is the captain's cabin. It's finished extremely nice in here. Those same very exquisite, very high-end wood pieces are still included in this room. And lots of natural light. Another desk for more personal usage. And then his or her ensuite. So we're just going to slowly back out of this room so you can take it all in once again. And you may have noticed the storage underneath the bed. And on any proper super yacht like this, it's always important that the captain's cabin is located just after the bridge. And on this yacht, as you can see, that's how it's set up. And these were definitely refit, I imagine. We have 5 multifunction displays, and these are really large screens. And of course, we have all the controls for the rest of the super yacht. You can see the camera system. This umbrella down here, this is where we started the tour, because you can see the passerelle. They can monitor the engine room. So of course, security is very important on these yachts. It's an extremely expensive asset, so the crew, they always have great situational awareness of what's going on. There is a captain's chair over here, as well as a place to lean. And I like how we have the matching leather sofa just aft of the space. And there are also side access doors on either side of the bridge. And we have a bunch of systems on board, including a FLIR camera system. That's a thermal imaging system. In addition, of course, to all the radar and satellite that we have on board. And then let's come around this corner. And I wasn't sure if there was something behind here. It's just the side access door. So we're gonna turn around. And now we're gonna head back to the Sky Lounge as well as your formal dining room. And there are a bunch of pocket doors in different sections, so you can close off this hallway if you wanted to. And we have the double doors or the French doors, granting us access to the Sky Lounge. And this is another incredible area. We have another large TV mounted and an extremely plush looking sofa. There's also a second TV on the other side, so if you wanted multiple games on, you could set it up however you'd like. We have another table here. Back here, it looks like we have a bar. And then another huge space. Look at this gorgeous formal dining room. Earlier I mentioned that mix of wood materials, and here you can see it on full display. This is all inlaid so beautifully, and that wraps around this entire space. And it looks like this table is set for 12. So you have plenty of space for everyone to comfortably dine. As you may have guessed, we have this large powered glass door, and we're gonna open this up and show it to you. This will completely open up half of the space. So if you want that inside out feeling, or even that alfresco dining experience while you're still fully protected, you can get it with this setup. But before we open the door, let me just give you one more slow walk through this level. All right. Now, let's head outside. As you saw already, this is a tri-deck super yacht. So we have the bridge deck aft as well as the sun deck to go check out. But let me show you these doors. I'm gonna step out and turn around. As you can see, these doors will slide all the way across. So we have 3 levels of doors tucked back. And it's starting to close on us, but I think you get the idea. You could set this to where once you open it, it stays locked in the complete open position. Absolutely incredible. There's also another TV mounted, just for good measure. And then some freestanding furniture back here on the bridge deck aft. And also, maybe you caught it in the intro, but another thing that's very impressive, because realistically, you don't always see this on a super yacht, especially the much larger yachts, but this yacht is actually flagged in the United States. So good on that owner for representing their country. On most massive super yachts, they're gonna be flagged in a small island in the Caribbean, Aruba, Jamaica, one of the British Virgin Islands. There's a whole bunch of countries that are very friendly towards the super yachting industry. But it's nice to see a US flagged vessel. I'm actually at this show. We're at the Fort Lauderdale International Boat Show. At this show, I think I've toured the most US flagged yachts that I've ever seen, but I must say, this is the largest yacht by far that I've ever seen flagged in the US. All right, now we're gonna make our way up this wide staircase up to the sun deck. And as you can imagine, on a yacht of this size, the sun deck is a massive place to hang out. We have all of these loungers back here and some freestanding furniture in the corner. And then for the ultimate alfresco dining experience, we have a huge table set up here on the sun deck. It's covered by the shade, so you are protected from the sun. In this, I think we have a table set up for 14. So if you're having a massive dinner party, you, your family, your friends, all your guests can comfortably dine at this table in the open air. And then continuing forward, we have the hardtop overhead for protection. And there's a TV that swivels out over here. So I imagine this door is just a storage closet. which means on the other side, this will be the day head for this level. And also, I didn't even see it before, we have another TV over here. You may not need them all the time, but it's nice to have them if you want them. And then continuing forward once again, we have 2 more chairs and also the 4 bar stools built in. And then last but not least up here, we have everyone's favorite, the large jacuzzi. And I'm not sure if this is original or if this was added as part of the refit. And then in front of this area, I always love these features. We have a large sun pad all the way forward. So this is probably one of the best places to hang out when you're underway or when you're just relaxing. Another thing I really like on this deck, and you'll see it start back here. For safety purposes, there's always a standard height for the railing that they look to achieve, but you can see right here, the glass starts as the top of the railing, and then as we continue forward, the glass gets taller and taller, or rather, the pieces of glass are taller, but the actual height stays the same. So when you're laying out here, you get those unobstructed views forward. So 1, I think this looks really good, and 2, it's very practical. But we're gonna head up to the foredeck in just a moment. We're gonna give you one more look at this area before moving on. And overhead, of course, we have the mast. And there's also a staircase which brings you down to the side deck, so it's very easy for whether it's the crew or the guests to get around. There's a lot of different access points. All right, guys, let's head downstairs. I hope you're enjoying this tour thus far. There's still more to see, so make sure you stick around. We're now gonna head up to the foredeck, and then we still are gonna go down to the engine room and check that out. And I know for many of you, that's actually your favorite part. So just to show you how this yacht is set up and how we can get around, we'll head back down to the aft deck where we started. But then we'll turn around and we'll head, actually, excuse me, we're not gonna go all the way forward. We're gonna head up this side. Honestly, Tony's just a little lost, so don't mind me. I thought I was maybe lost, but actually, I'm a genius. I knew exactly where we were going, and we're just gonna roll with that. Here on this staircase, it was integrated into the structure of the yacht, so you weren't able to easily see it. But now you can see we're up a level, and this will bring us all the way up to the foredeck. And we have wing stations on either side, very crucial on a huge yacht like this. And then up here, unfortunately, we're not going to be able to get inside it, but you can see there's just some freestanding sun pads up here. And then this is a massive space, as you can see, and down underneath this deck, this is actually just in front of the owner's suite. This is where we have a huge garage on the inside, and there's also garage doors on either side of this yacht. And after I did all of that explanation, I just noticed that this door is open, so there's a small chance we'll actually be able to get into the garage. Maybe it's just this Florida heat is getting to me. I'm getting a little delirious. Look at that, guys. Let's head inside. And I am gonna set the camera down because this is a ladder. Actually, I'll risk it for you. Just give me 1 second here. All right, hopefully, I think an explanation makes a lot of sense, but I know if you can see it, you definitely prefer that. So here you can see what I'm talking about. We have a massive garage door on either side. Let me just adjust the camera for a moment because it's a little darker in here. So we have a smaller tender over here, and then this beautiful, luxurious tender on this side. And you can see the frame for that garage door. And then of course, this area can also just be used for storage. There's additional systems down under this hatch, but we're not going to go down there. Let's see what's back here. So if we crouch down, now we have full standing headroom again. And then let's see what's in this door. Oh, look at that. This actually brings us back down into the depths of the crew compartment. So if you remember before, at the end of the hallway, there was the staircase. This is what that leads up to. So that's pretty cool. And also I love that from a design perspective, because that means the crew from their area, say you're a deckhand and you're down just relaxing in the crew mess, and then, hey, you get the call on the radio, we need to release the tender. They don't have to walk around this entire yacht just to get to this area and climb down the ladder. They can just walk up the stairs directly from the crew mess. So I think that's pretty great from a design perspective. All right, I'm really glad we were able to show this to you. And if you look up, you'll also see we have jet skis, a wakeboard, a whole bunch of different water toys, and I imagine we also have some inflatables stored up here. And if you haven't liked the video by this point, I think climbing up this ladder, one-handed, clearly a very dangerous situation, but I'm willing to risk it for you. So if you haven't liked the video by now, I'm gonna ask one last time, please leave a like on the video. And of course, look at the size of these winches. These are huge. And I've said, sometimes I definitely overuse my adjectives sometimes, but maybe it's all just relative. Because on a 130-foot yacht, the bollards are pretty massive. But take a look at this yacht, guys. These bollards are insane. Proudly have the Feadship flag flowing. All right, I'm glad we were able to get down in there for you. Let's continue on and head back to the engine room. And also remember earlier, there was another staircase that led up to the sundeck. That is this staircase right here. So you can come down from this area, and then we have the next one integrated into the side. So everything on this yacht seems to just make a lot of sense. But I've been saying it again and again, on a pedigree yacht like this, it's kind of the expectation. Beyond just the craftsmanship, you also expect a really well thought out design and a layout that flows and makes a lot of sense. So now we're gonna head down to the swim platform where we started the tour. And then through this door, we will enter another large storage area. It looks like some inflatables down here. You can see the chief engineer has a lot of space to work. And just like before, there are multiple ways to get in here. We just chose the path of least resistance. So this is more of a workstation, and then through this door, this is the actual office for the chief engineer. Of course, with 13 crew members, we're gonna have professional staff on board at all times, keeping things in tip-top shape. So I like how their desk is located just aft of the engine room. So beyond just the camera system, they can directly see into the engine room to monitor what's going on. All right, stepping into the engine room, you're greeted right away by the generators. We have one on the other side, and it's very loud in here. I apologize. If we take a step down, there's a sink and another workbench. And I'm not even gonna pretend to know what I'm talking about to explain all these systems to you. But what I can tell you is you can see these beautiful, monstrous engines. And these are MTU engines. Let me show you the other one. More specifically, this yacht comes with a pair of MTU 12V 4000 M53R engines rated at 1,529 horsepower. So of course, this is a massive yacht. It's not the fastest one in the world. We have a top speed of right around 16 knots, maybe 15 and a half. You can cruise at 13, and we're looking at an estimated 4,500 nautical miles of range. And you can tell the crew does an immaculate job because this engine room is absolutely spotless. So props to the crew on board. Honestly, every single space that we've seen has been spotless. You can tell this is a professionally run ship. It's much quieter here in the chief engineer's office. And then I like how this back space is teak lined. And then we can head out the door back onto the swim platform. And you saw it in the beginning, but I like these wide staircases leading up on either side. It gives you a very grand appearance as you're making your way up. And also, I didn't even talk about it, this yacht has a beautiful gray paint job. And then we're going to give you one more shot at this incredible main salon. A huge thank you to Worth Avenue Yachts for granting us access on board this amazing listing. I want you to comment down below and let me know what you think of this one. It's been a pleasure. Thank you so much for watching, and we will catch you next time.